Okay, in this video we're going to be discussing why you do not hire someone to do your accounting who is not an accountant. The reason why I'm making this video is a lot of people think that they can hire, or a lot of people think that all they need is a certificate from a local community college and wham bam, they can do the accounting for your business. They can't. Don't do it. Do not hire people with certificates to be your main form of accounting. You are setting yourself up for failure. Okay, what is an accountant? Accountant is somebody who went to school for a minimum of 4 years to learn how to adjust for inventory accounting, cost accounting, all types of accounting. How do I know? I did it. I have that degree. I went and got a bachelor's of science in accountancy. This is the only correct accounting degree. There's no such thing as arts when it comes to accounting. Mathematics is a science. End of story. So, as I stated, don't hire Joe Blow or Miss Susie who just got done taking some certificate program down at the local community college to be your accountant because they got some little bookkeeper certificate. Bookkeepers work for accountants. They are the peons of the accountant industry. One accountant may have 20, 30 bookkeepers working for them. That does not mean the bookkeeper is good enough to be on their own. And that does not mean a bookkeeper is able to be an accountant, because they're not. You're talking about something that could be a 6-month certificate, even a 1-year certificate, versus a 4-year bachelor's degree. And yes, out of a 4-year bachelor's degree, 2 entire years worth of that degree are nothing but accounting courses. It's a big difference. Yes, it doesn't take a brain, or it doesn't take a rocket scientist to be able to figure out cash accounting. It's the simplest form. It's been the simplest form of accounting forever, and it's what most small businesses run on. But it does take somebody who understands what they're doing to not get you in trouble with cash accounting. And this is without anything else to really speak of. The cash has to come in at the same rate as it goes out. If it doesn't come in at the same rate as it goes out, or if you haven't set up budgets for how fast certain amounts of cash can go out, you're going to fail. And you're going to fail spectacularly with owing people money. Okay, as I said before, do not hire somebody with a certificate to be your main form of accounting. Now, this may sound counterproductive, not so intuitive to what I was just saying. You can hire a bookkeeper to keep your books at work, but you need to be turning in all your receipts and turning in everything to an accountant, preferably a CPA, who's an independent person from your business, who has a CPA firm or is part of a CPA firm. You need to be turning everything into them so that they can look everything over and give you a finalized set of books for the month. Completely independent of what your bookkeeper is doing. Your bookkeeper is keeping you on day to day, and your accountant is reconciling you at the end of the month. They're making sure that everything is good at the end of the month. That's acceptable. I would prefer to see that over what I have seen a lot of business owners do. As I stated before, I used to work for the state of Texas, the Texas Workforce Commission, under the business tax auditing program. Auditing for unemployment taxes and going through companies' financial records from the first thing they did in the year to the absolute last thing they did in the year for 3 years straight on every business gets old. And it gets old quick. But the one thing it does do is show you how often people who hire people with certificates to be their only accounting measure, other than handing some stuff over to a CPA at the end of the year, they get it wrong. And it's wrong most of the time. And worst off, they get bad advice from the people with a certificate because they're in over their heads. The people with certificates do not understand and do not know the laws and regulations that an accountant would have to know. There is no state association to hand out those certificates. If someone is a CPA, not just an accountant, but a CPA, they're licensed by the state to be a CPA. There's a board of CPAs. They have to take a test to become a CPA. Kind of like the bar exam, only it's a CPA exam. There's a lot that goes into it. It's not something you can do overnight. It is something that takes years. So, what I do need to say is be careful as a business owner and make sure you're hiring the right people to do the right jobs. Do not hire someone underqualified for a job unless you can personally back them 100% and know that even though their qualifications do not show it, they are capable of it. You're doing yourself a disservice and you're ruining your company in the process. It's not worth it to take a risk on someone you don't know and someone you cannot guarantee when there are, especially right now, it's an employer's market. Employers can choose the employees that they get. They can choose who to hire and who not to hire. As long as they get that job posted out there, there will be enough applicants that you can pick somebody who's actually qualified for the job you want them to do. It's important in business to realize that you are your only friend. Everyone else either has a job to do or needs to make money off of you. So, you're either a customer or they're the customer to you. That's it. And you need to make sure that anybody who you are a customer of, you're treating them with the same kind of respect that you want your customers to treat you with. And the easiest way to do that is to make sure that you have your bases covered with your employees. Make sure they're qualified to do what they need to do. Make sure that you're not hiring somebody in a position that they cannot do. Again, when it comes to accounting, there's a huge difference between somebody with a certificate, an accountant who is degreed, because that's the only way you can be an accountant, is to be degreed, and a CPA. And they go in that order. An accountant can be your accountant all day long. They just haven't had the CPA test. They haven't passed it. But they have the degree to go take the test. They may not have the extra requirements. Because just like a law degree in many states, to be a CPA, you have to have a special master's degree or the credits equivalating towards that master's degree. If you don't have them, you can't sit for the test. Even if you do have them, you still may not be able to sit for the test depending on how that state's legislature or CPA program, depending on who chooses, has those qualifications written up because the college you went to may not qualify. That's right. You could have all of the classes you need, but you went to the wrong college, you can't sit for the test. It's actually like that here in Texas. You have to go to the right schools to be able to sit for that test. Otherwise, you just can't. Which is the whole reason why I have not gone back and tried to get my CPA. Is I don't want to go back and take another master's degree program. I already have one. And it's just not worth it to me at this point. But that's also why I do consulting. Is because I have a lot to offer people in my skills, in my knowledge, besides just my accounting proficiency. I have a lot to offer people on the business of business, on marketing, on computer information systems for business, on management. I have no problem teaching managers how to act and how to relate with their employees. These are all things that business owners need. And these are all things that a good consultant can do. as long as the consultant understands where they end in business. See, all these businesses that I work for, they're my customers. And I treat them the way I want to be treated. So, again, I know this kind of got off topic, but be careful when you're hiring employees. Make sure that they're the right employee for the job. Do not hire somebody with a certificate when you need somebody with a degree. You're doing nothing but hurting yourself. And the cost difference between the two people is really not that much. You get somebody with a certificate, yeah, you're paying them $25,000 to $30,000 a year. You get somebody with a degree, you're looking at $35,000 to $40,000 a year. You may say, oh, well, $10,000, that's a lot of money. No, it's not. Not considering you can get fined $10,000 very easily from almost any government agency for screwing up accounting. Whether it's your state agency, one of your state agencies, whether it's federal, whether it's a licensing agency, whether it's your state comptroller, whether it's your state's version of the TWC or the Texas Workforce Commission. There are plenty of agencies out there that can fine you more than that $10,000 for screwing up. So is it really worth it to spend $10,000 less and hope you don't get fined? Because, yeah, you'll probably go a few years before you are fined, but when they do fine you, or heaven forbid, when they find out that, you've been doing your accounting wrong and you get those audits, all that's going to catch up to you. All right, well, I guess that does it for this video. I thank you very much, and I'll see you again later, YouTube.